So here is the Kinetic Energy Tools, or KET brass deflector, and I saw this product on Amazon, and I've been looking for some type of brass catcher or brass deflector type of equipment for my ARs, primarily for when I shoot my 6.5 Creedmoor AR in the prone. And what intrigued me about this is every single brass catcher type device I've tried to use in the past, where there's typically a net that goes around the ejection port, always ends up in some type of failure. I always get a stovepipe. So this, just being a simple deflector instead of an actual catcher, caught my attention, as well as the different mounting options. So over here on the left we have a scope mount, so you can take that and then snap it around the tube of your scope. And then this one is for Picatinny rail, so you can see the the points at the bottom, how it snaps into the dovetail and Picatinny rail. And the way that this device goes together is you take this piece, which has a rigid plastic insert. At least mine, the insert came separated, so I had to put it in here, which wasn't the easiest thing, but once you put it in, you never have to take it out, so it's not a big deal. And then you use the hook and loop or Velcro to attach it to the bottom, or I suppose you could even do the top of the deflector piece like that. And this piece, you slide over this little opening on either of the two mounts. So to put this together, if I take the Picatinny mount and then I take this piece right here and I take that little opening, I can go ahead and slide these two pieces together to put that on, and then I can take the deflector portion and mount it to the Velcro. Since the Velcro portion goes the entire length, or almost the entire length of the deflector portion, you can mount it fore and aft. So if I have a red dot on the very forward part of my AR receiver and I mount this behind it, I can put it at the edge of travel of the hook and loop Velcro, so that when I place it on the rail, this is sitting behind, but this is still covering most of the ejection port. So here's the scope mount for this deflector, and you can see it's just plastic and it just snaps right onto your tube, just like that. So this tube is a 30 millimeter. This is a March F3 to 24. So here I have the KET brass deflector with the scope mount mounted to my March scope here on this 6.5 LaRue upper. And you can see that I've had to move it a little bit further off of the main Velcro area, because if I have this too close, it just gets in the way of my my windage knob. So unfortunately I can't move it closer and have the more rigid part of the deflector closer, so that it consistently drops all the brass down, instead of sometimes allowing it to flap out and some brass to get a yard away or so. So after this latest mag, you can see most of my brass ended up right next to the firearm. However, I still had a couple pieces that landed a little bit more than a yard away. So I think this product in this application works pretty decently. At least you don't have to go chasing your brass all over the place, but it doesn't keep everything perfectly neat. So here I have the KET deflector on my Ruger PC Carbine, and it's really unfortunate that they made this mount that clips onto the rail so dang tall, because you can see here this absolutely obstructs my red dot. So you effectively cannot use it on this platform, which is a platform I think that would benefit from a product like this. So I really hope that they make a lower rail mount in the future, so that I can use it on my PC Carbine. So as you can see, on an AR-15, this brass deflector works quite well, and it dropped everything right at my feet. So here is the KET brass deflector mounted onto my AR-15, and you can see I'm using the pick rail mount for it. I've had to set it back a little bit from the optic due to the T2's flip covers, but it works pretty well. Even though this part over here isn't quite as rigid, the lighter 223 brass it doesn't really have a problem with, and you saw how it dropped all of that brass kind of right at my feet, making it very easy to pick up. So on an AR-15 application, I think this is a very good piece of equipment, and it does what I want it to do. And unlike when I had it mounted to a scope, it does not really get in the way of adjusting my optics adjustments.